I'm going to critique one of my favorite penthouses in London and then give it an Arvin score at the end of the video. So if you ever decide to buy a penthouse, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm the how to buy a mansion guy. Let's watch this video together.
This isn't just a penthouse. It's a £42 million decision that someone right now is thinking of making. But what makes a home worth that kind of money? And what does it say about the person who's ready to pay it? In episode 1 of our new series, we're going to be opening the doors to one of the most expensive residences here in London. It features breathtaking views over Hyde Park, stunning interiors, and state-of-the-art amenities. And we're going to be asking a question: would you do it?
Why does it feel like we have to solve a linear algebra equation? It's like initiation to MI6? Dude, calm down. We're watching a penthouse tour video. What does it say about you? It's a decision. Would you do it? Come on, dude, relax.
Okay, and here we are at the main entrance of Park Modern. Now, this is a meticulously designed space, and you don't just see that with the craftsmanship and interiors, but it also has an upscale feel and vibe the second you walk in. Now, you have your concierge desk here. There's also friendly staff that will welcome you into the building. Just behind me, you have your first seating area, and then on the opposite side, you have your second guest seating area.
Okay, this is so far really good. First appearance, you come into the lobby, your guests come to the lobby. Very simple, very efficient. 2 seating arrangements right in front of the park. Very lit. You have a reception desk to help you for concierge, booking, and security. So far, so good.
Now, Park Modern is known for their state-of-the-art amenities, which includes valet parking, a swimming pool and spa, salon, treatment room, and gym.
At the end of the video, I'm giving this a amenity score for buildings, and this seems to have a lot of the elements that you would really expect in a high-rise on a mid-sized building. So very impressive, brand new construction. So far, so good again.
Now let's head upstairs and check out this penthouse. Here we are in the entrance hall to start off with, and one thing that I love is just the volume and space in here.
Did you spot the flaw? I always pause the frame and ask my subscribers to spot the flaw because it's a muscle you have to exercise. I'll give you guys 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Low ceiling, no wow factor, and no foyer. This is a hallway. For 42 million exit on an ultra luxury property, this is ridiculously low. And it's very obvious that the developer wanted to squeeze 1 extra floor to maximize ROI, and they really took that volume, vertical volume, out of all the units by doing that.
You have stone floors with these dramatic veins which run the entire length of the entrance hall. Moving onto the walls, tons of space here to hang art. So if you like your art, this is truly a place you can hang a lot of artwork and make this penthouse feel like home. Okay, that's the entrance hall. Let's move into the living room now, stepping through these double doors. And my mind is blown entering this place. I mean, what a stunning place to welcome guests, to entertain. There's just truly so much that you can do from here. And I like the choice of furniture in here. It's sculptural. I like the lines and the shapes, but also the arrangement, because it keeps it conversational here in the living room, but it also focuses on the incredible views of Hyde Park.
All right, let me tell you guys what I like about this formal living space and what I don't like about it. The formal living space is extremely generous in size, even for ultra luxury London standards. It's massive. Then it's a corner spot in the penthouse where you're getting south exposure and east exposure. You're going to be lit. And then it opens up to the Hyde Park, which is perhaps the most expensive view in London. And now here's what I don't like about it. When you really get these great width and length rooms, right, really good sized rooms, the ceiling heights, when they're low, it becomes even more obvious. They've tried to mitigate that by floor to ceiling glass, but it's not really doing the trick for me. The other element is that for a penthouse, a lot of times your TV room and formal living space could merge together to save space. So if they don't have a separate solid TV room here, there's not a single wall here that you could really put a TV on and, you know, orient your furniture around to have a TV room.
So Park Modern stands boldly across the street from the iconic Hyde Park. It was designed by PLP architects and includes 52 apartments,
All right, let's talk about the architecture and the facade of the building because I find it extremely beautiful. And it does two things extremely well. It doesn't try to be modern, but it is modern in a way that a lot of other buildings fail. I think as soon as you hear the word modern in buildings facades, people go with the glass facade and a very cubicle format, where this pays homage to the architecture and a lot of other townhouse buildings that you will see in London by keeping the bone and the structure and the terraces the same. By introducing finishes and all these curved elements, it reminds you that it is a modern, it is a new building, and then it brings this brass element that just makes it very elegant and old money. I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous.
So we're currently on Bayswater Road. It's a street that runs the entire length of Hyde Park. You have Mayfair and Marylebone to the east behind me, and then Notting Hill and Kensington to the west in front of me. It's definitely a super vibrant area.
Okay, let's talk about the location because this guy just name dropped a bunch of really, really expensive neighborhoods in London like Kensington, Knightsbridge, Mayfair to create association and build up the value of this location when it's not the same. Look, being front row, Hyde Park, it's its own category, especially from the third and fourth level where you see over the trees and you see the park and the city, right? There's never going to be new builds there, right? It's going to be a limited amount of supply. But this same apartment, if it was, let's say, in Knightsbridge, it would be double the price. Now you're scratching your head. You're thinking, Arvin, like, how is that even possible? Why? You see, Knightsbridge or Mayfair, they have wider street, a way more homogeneous, ultra high-end residential properties all next to each other, right? It's significantly clustered together. A very, very high-end population live there. As to Bayswater, it's a lot more mixed use. You get, mid-tier luxury next to ultra luxury, right? It's just not the same. But there's one element that Bayswater has over all the other neighborhoods I named. Can you guess what it is? I give you 3 seconds. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. 3, 2, 1. The only part where you will get south-facing views over the park would be on this side of the park, Bayswater. That's a huge selling point. Now, if you're planning to buy, sell, remodel your own residence and you want my support for 12 months, the link is in the description. Fill out a form, and if we're a right fit for each other, I would love to help you out.
Let's head outside now and check out the terrace. These glass sliding doors lead us outside, and here we are on the terrace. Now, it's a super hot and bright day today, so I'm gonna have to wear my sunglasses.
Okay, when I'm looking at penthouse terraces, what I really want to see, especially on these wraparound balconies, I want to know if it has enough width where you can have seating arrangements and spend some time on, because just to have a wraparound balcony is not enough for me. And this seems like fantastically catered towards that. These all curves of the building, not just architecturally look good, they create these little cavities and spots throughout the whole penthouse that you can actually have furniture out and enjoy the outdoor looking over the park.
This penthouse and this view is probably most comparable to a Central Park penthouse in New York, and it's definitely a dream for anyone to be park facing there.
Not really. Just because you have a park, it's not the same. I would value Central Park view better. Why? London, it just doesn't have the skyline to match New York's skyline. And I think one of the most beautiful and weird things about Central Park is that the contrast between nothing, like the park greenery, and then massive amount of buildings, right? I think that's what makes the view even more beautiful than Hyde Park.
Let's head inside now and check out the dining room. Here we are in the dining area, and this is not a regular dining area. I'd more like to call this a fine dining area. And that's just because I feel like this space has been created to replicate the experience and design of a fine dining restaurant, maybe here in London, Tokyo, New York, one of the major cities. And I truly appreciate that. Even just the spacing, everything has been well thought out, and it gives it this kind of luxury feel.
Okay, this has to be the largest dining room or space I've ever seen in London. It is massive. If anything, it's slightly underused. I would have loved to see a bar in this connection between the formal living space and the dining room. What do you think? Don't you think each one of these rooms had enough length and width to stand on its own or not? In my opinion, they each did. By combining them, you just made the ceiling height scream extremely low. As to if you would have maybe created a semi-partition between these two spaces, while adding utility to both rooms, you could have solved two problems, right? By maybe adding a bar around this column, which kind of separates the area, but also creates a little focal point. And also not making it so obvious that your ceiling heights are so low.
Now, as I was mentioning, it's over 5,000 square feet in this penthouse. So you are going to get just tons of walk space all throughout. Stepping through here, we have the kitchen. Now, how incredible is this space? Starting out, I first met with this kitchen island. So much space on here. Beautiful Italian stone on the countertop. Seamless seating for 4. Now, opposite me, let's swing around this way. We have your informal dining area, and this is such a cozy space. It's where you can enjoy those more simple foods in the morning. You have a little breakfast nook over there, and then access to the terrace from here too.
Okay, this is really strange because you have 3 different spots to eat in this area. You have a kitchen island where you could eat at the island. You have a breakfast nook over here, and then you have another seating arrangements for 2 people to have breakfast on. And not a single place to live. Where's the family living room? We haven't seen one. Where are you going to put the TV? This is the prime time. Like the moment after dinner when the family congregates together is perhaps the best quality time you get with your family because the husband is working, the wife is working, the kids are in school. This is the time you get 2-3 hours before putting the kids to sleep. Where are you going to hang out? And the obvious problem is here, this column. It breaks the room in such an awkward shape where you can't really set an arrangement, put the TV over here, but it seems like there's a AC unit behind it. Again, it has a layout issue and they have not solved the family living situation at all in this space. Because even the formal living space, it was all covered by glass and windows looking to Hyde Park, not a single place to put your TV.
Now let's come this way because there is something really interesting. Now you actually have a guest apartment / bedroom through here. I'd call it is a bedroom. And through here we have a full bedroom, a walk-in wardrobe. There's also an ensuite bathroom and of course access to the terrace.
All right, this is a really good guest bedroom, not just in size, but also in the way it's separated from all the other bedrooms, right? You want that separation to both make the guests comfortable and yourself comfortable.
That's this first half of the apartment. We've seen the living area, the dining area, the beautiful terrace, and the kitchen. Let's head to the second half now and check out the bedroom suites. All right, and here we are back in the hallway. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different this time, and I'm going to start off with the primary bedroom suite. Let's head through here. Now, this is definitely a special space. You have a generous layout here, king size bed setup. Just take a look at this. And I really like the leather headrest backing off the bed.
You're facing the park. So your formal living space, formal dining, and the primary bedroom all facing the park. Size-wise, fantastic. South facing, really, really good so far.
Now we have the stunning ensuite bathroom, which is through here. You're definitely going to see that. But before we see that, let's check out the walk-in wardrobe because this is something exceptional too. And it's basically like a boutique store in here. And just take a look at this. I mean, it's definitely like being in a boutique store. I like the lack of finish on the hardwood. And then you just have tons of wardrobe space to store your clothes. And just behind me, we have a nice seating area where you can rest and get ready from. Now, that's not all because check this out. On the opposite side, you have the exact same thing. I know, it's pretty impressive, right?
All right, space-wise, I say for ultra luxury in London, it gets a pass, but it doesn't have the island. I've seen bigger and better ultra high-end condos with bigger closet. But what's really disappointing is that it's very plain. I don't like all covered. You're doing the same thing. Okay, you didn't have the island. You could have really shown more of a dynamic situation where maybe one side was glass. You had maybe a shoe rack. You're not doing any of that stuff. When I'm designing a walk-in closet for a primary bedroom, I'm thinking of it as look of a kitchen, right? Like you wouldn't want to see a kitchen where it's all the same cabinets, everywhere is closed off. You want to see a little shelf. You want to see a little coffee machine in there. Think of it in those terms, right? And as for finding stuff, it's a nightmare trying to find out your, old t-shirt that you had somewhere, right? You got to open every single one of them, look through it as to at least if some of it was semi-exposed with glass, you could have seen into it.
Now let's check out the ensuite bathroom because it gets better in the primary bedroom. Through here, we have the ensuite bathroom. And first of all, this stunning stone finish. I like how it's been book matched here in the center. We have a freestanding bathtub, and this definitely is the best freestanding bathtub placement in any home I've toured.
Okay, pretty narrow and small primary bathroom, but if I was going to make a decision and I had to either give more space to the primary closet or the bathroom, I would give more space to the closet because that is by far more of a deal breaker than the primary bathroom. Overall, though, finish-wise, I love these curve elements they're doing. Even the stepped-up shower, they're doing it very elegantly. They're elements from the exterior architecture. They're bringing in that metal feel that is consistent throughout the whole experience. Very good.
Now let's check out the other 4 bedrooms. Follow me. All right, and now we're going to be heading into the second bedroom of the primary. Through here, we have fitted carpets in the space, which breaks from the hallway. I like the choice of interiors here too, and the colors, the greens and the blues. You got a nice bed set up. You also get access to the terrace, and then there's some built-in wardrobes. We have the ensuite bathroom here. You have this herringbone stonework on the floors, a walk-in shower, and then your fitted vanity.
All right, very small bedroom, perhaps the worst bedroom right by the front door. Decent kids bedroom. I don't think your kids will leave you. It would have been nicer if it had a bathtub than a stand-up shower.
Now let's head back out, and around here we have your second bedroom. Now this gets a little bit bigger. I like this space too. The colors in here are more neutral and it's a bit more of a contemporary design in here. You also get access to the terrace, built-in wardrobes, and then of course, the ensuite bathroom, almost identical to the bathroom that we've just seen. Herringbone pattern on the floors, and then your walk-in shower.
Okay, this was a better bedroom than the last one. Definitely good for the kids.
Now through here we have your third bedroom, and it feels a little bit more spacious. We're first met with these walk-in wardrobes. I like the fabric paneling here, and then the bed setup here too is definitely a lot larger. It's bolder, it takes up a little bit more space.
All right, out of all the bedrooms after the primary suite, I think the best bedroom was the guest bedroom. Better than all 3 of these. And I think if you have older kids, they perhaps will gravitate towards that one and would argue the guests should take that small little bedroom by the front door.
To finish it off, we have something cool. I know it doesn't stop. To finish it off, we actually have what could be a bedroom, but they've utilized this space very well.
Okay, pay attention here. This is your elevator entrance, okay? Now remember all the flaws we spoke about earlier in the video? First of all, this is a hallway, right? There's no foyer and there's no wow factor. What would have you done to make this space better?
And this is something I love to see in homes, and that is the home office. Now, just take a look at this space. To be able to call this a home office is something special. We have your desk set up here, and this is the type of place where deals get closed, contracts get signed, and moves get made practically. And to be able to sit here and just overlook Hyde Park like this is something special.
Okay, did you guys catch it? You see, don't you guys think it would have been better if instead of opening this elevator, looking into a hallway with a bunch of doors, you opened up to a volume like this room, maybe even bigger than this room, that was backed up by Hyde Park? I think this is the big negative of this unit. You don't have that wow factor after paying 42 million pounds. And then you don't have that family room where everyone congregates. I think a big negative of that is that they didn't accommodate that, and they should. They allocated way too much space to the dining room and not enough space to the family room, because you didn't need 6 bedrooms. This is technically the 6th bedroom. You have a guest bedroom, and you could have, had the first bedroom, the smallest bedroom, as your office. You didn't need a Hyde Park area. I think what they should have focused on fixing is the wow factor and a family room. Now, let's give it an Arvin score. But before I do that, if you have a project and you want my support for 12 months, link is in the description. Apply. And if you're a right fit, I would love to help you out. Okay, location. I'm going to give it a 9. It's, front to row Hyde Park. I don't care Bayswater or not. I think it's a great, great location. Okay, building amenities. I give it an 8. I think there were small gym, small swimming pool, small sauna, but you still got almost all the elements that it's offered in much bigger buildings. So that was a positive. HOA. To be very honest, I don't know about the HOA of this building. What I can tell you is on newer buildings, if all the units are not sold or do not sell after a really long time, the burden of the cost of HOA is divided by the people who have already bought units. So pay attention to that. Privacy. I'm going to give it a 9 for 2 reasons. First of all, you're still a penthouse. You have someone below you and someone to your side. And through the balcony, you can kind of go to the other unit. I mean, they've put a glass wall there, but it's not ideal. Unit orientation. You got a corner unit south facing. It's a 10. Architectural style. I'm going to give this architectural style a 9. I think it was both modern and classic. Well done. Really, really well done. Views. For London, this is almost as good as it gets. I'm going to give it a 9.5. Layout. You see, this long hallway, there are times that it's really the best decision. It's not ideal, and it's disappointing where they could have possibly, by giving a little volume right after the elevator experience entrance, kind of diffused that hallway situation. But the hallway did a lot for the property. It really divided the kids' bedrooms away from the primary bedroom. It also had good connectivity of the kitchen to the formal living space, the dining area, and the guest bedroom that was completely separated from all the other bedrooms. I'm going to give it a 7. Scale and volume. The length and width of all rooms were really good. Even the smaller bedrooms for London standard were not that bad. But the ceiling height was borderline criminal. And it's so funny because the developer really knows it's going to get away with it because... I mean, you're still front row Hyde Park, right? It's always a balance of what you're willing to give and what you're willing to not give to maximize your profit. And the ceiling heights just had to go on this one because I bet you they squeezed in another floor in there. Now, finishes. The most thing about it was that it's neutral, but also it paid respect to the architectural style of the building. It carried those brass elements on the inside, the metal elements on the inside, and it really didn't draw a strong opinion from me in either way. I'm going to give it an 8. Now, this is the Arvin score. If you want to see an incredible penthouse in Brooklyn, watch this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Have a good one.